Hi everybody, it's Rob Biagi, the Kids Worship Guy, with an audio blog today, no video. I got an email from a lady named Fiona G from Perth, Western Australia, and she is wondering some specific things that might apply to you as well. She wrote, Rob, I found the Bug Song, your song, on YouTube years ago with some sort of little homemade video that someone had made. I didn't know who you were, Rob. I couldn't find the album or the song. I just couldn't find anything. Then finally I did find you. And she said, I've seen your kids worship leader tips on YouTube and I've heard all your music and she's enjoying it and I'm grateful. My lyrics videos are now growing in number, you guys, and available for sale on worshiphousekids.com and also my website, kidsworshipguy.com. So check those out. But for Fiona, she had some real specific questions, and hopefully it'll be helpful to all of you listening as well. She works with 4 to 9-year-old kids all together, and it's mostly girls, which is interesting. She said volume is an issue. If they get too loud, the adult worship notices because they share a wall. She said there's not much room to move around in their room, and that they have no band. It's just her and a CD player. That's probably most of you listening as well. Very few churches that I've experienced have a live band for kids worship. So I've got some encouragement, of course, and some tips and suggestions for Fiona and hopefully for the rest of you. Now, you may have tried some of these things, but perhaps there's some fresh perspective or you can try them again. If you're working with mostly girls, and I talk a lot about boys and how boys need to shout and grunt and cheer and be competitive and have a lot of fun, girls want unity and interaction and ownership and love and clear instructions and fun. So I ask some questions. Does your group have a name? And how about some groups within the group? Can you have the butterflies group, the bullfrogs group, the rhinoceros group for the boys? You know, any kind of little subdivisions and names where they can have ownership and unity is a good thing. Do you have a logo? Do you have T-shirts or a theme song or a chant or a cheer? All those things strengthen unity and create ownership for the kids. Now, all those ages together, when I used to work with preschool through 4th grade kids all together, I found myself having to say everything 3 times. I'd start with the older kids and I would tell them, you guys, following Jesus, like that song talked about, is a sacrifice. Godly character is probably going to cause you to lose friends later in life, but Jesus said there will be people who won't like you because of me. And then to the 1st and 2nd grade kids, I'd say, you know how your mom says, get ready for church, it's time to go. Well, Jesus has things that he commands us to do as well, and he wants us to follow his example and do those things to please God the Father. And then I'd say to the preschool kids, God loves you. Now, all of that took less than a minute, but it was important for all the kids to feel like I was speaking to them in a way that was age-appropriate and relevant to their developing walks with Christ. Now, regarding motions to create unity with the girls, you might consider, Fiona, reworking the motions to include more leaning together, more hand clasps and arms around the shoulders or link arms, dance together, partnering type stuff. Consider ways to modify your motions. You said that volume is an issue with adult worship and how you share a wall. I wondered if you can you probably already do music at the same time as adult worship music is going on. See how loud is too loud. You know, how loud does it have to be for you to get complaints? Put a decibel meter. There's a lot of apps for smartphones with decibel meters. Check out how loud it is. Is it 80, 85, 90, 95 decibels? And then just back it off. Make sure you hit that number each week and you can say, hey, we're hitting our number. And talk to the pastor, of course, the adult worship leader also, and tell them that the kids are praising and worshiping, and that's an important part of your kids' service, and that's how it needs to be. See if you can get buy-in and understanding from the worship center folks. Now, if there's not much room in your space, you need to modify motions, of course. I have a song called I'm Following Jesus, and the motions call for the kids to bounce and move 10 feet or so to the left and then 10 feet to the right, bouncing back and forth. It's tons of fun, but if you don't have room, you can make it just a few bounces not moving as far, and lean over with your hand maybe up toward the ceiling. I oftentimes will encourage kids to try to touch the ceiling. So modify your motions, and that does take some work, and it takes some understanding. Now, if you have no band, it's just you and the CD player. I used to make CDs for each week. I'd have an A, B, C, D, E. If there were 5 weeks in the month, I would have that disc. It would change each week, A, B, C, D, or E, and the number of songs would sometimes change. Certainly the songs in their order and a little bit of a variety would change from week to week. That way there can be a flow and you're not stopping to change discs. All right, so I thank you, Fiona, for writing to me, and everybody else, please do write. I will answer you here on YouTube in the comments section or by email or even text message. God has certainly allowed me lots of experience in kids worship, and I'm happy to share my successes and failures and things to avoid as well. I've got a lot of those. So have a great day, guys. Keep pointing kids to Christ, and please, if you would, subscribe to this channel here on YouTube so you can know right away when new videos are posted. And I do hope you'll let others know about these kids worship leader tips, because every church in the world has kids, right? And those kids need to praise and worship God, which means their leaders need praise and worship tips from experienced folks who have been there and done that. So this is Biagi saying, I hope I can help you. Have a good day. Thanks, guys.